guys, it's Tim from Game Twaddle, and today we're here to talk to you about Wingspan. And I brought James along with me. So, Wingspan, is it for the birds?
I'd say no.
Fair enough, fair enough. 1 to 5 player. I haven't tried solo mode yet, but this is a really beautiful engine building game.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be, there's a little bit of action selection. You're picking cards. You're playing them in your tableau. I mean, there's a lot to this game without it being too hard, in my opinion.
Yeah, 4 decisions that you have to make regularly. Do you want to play another bird, gain food, which lets you play your birds, get eggs, which are worth points at the end of the game, or draw more cards, which means more birds later.
Right.
Just get birds into your aviary to try to get the most victory points.
Sure. Yeah, and it's really neat, and the artwork is really cool.
So good.
I love the artwork. It is like you went and bought a book on like bird watching, right? And you just
turned it into a game. That's what it feels
like. And you turn it into a game, exactly. Now, we got to talk a little bit about sort of the controversy when this came out, because there were like limited copies and people got upset. The secondary market went crazy and this game skyrocketed in price. I mean, and for me, not worth it. Mm-hmm. Not worth that. I bought this MSRP at a game shop, found it, was excited I found it, hadn't played it yet, and bought it for MSRP, got it home. It's great. I wouldn't pay double MSRP or anything like that. Like some people were paying double and triple.
Because you want it 2 months early.
Yeah.
And thankfully that's not the case anymore. You can find this, and if it's between print runs, you can pre-order it either from Stonemeyer or from a game shop.
Yeah, most game shops, our game shop here, they'll get in 2 copies, they'll be there a week, and then they're gone. But then, a little bit later, they get in a few more copies, so on and so forth. So that getting into it, we're going to break it down by a few categories, rate them 1 to 5. And the first one that we talk about is accessibility. So accessibility, I did give this a 2. Mm-hmm. Really low because it is sometimes hard to find in the wild, so to speak, right? Like you may need to ask your game store to order it for you. You may need to track it down.
I don't think you're going to walk into many game shops where you can just chance into a copy of Wingspan. Maybe that's going to be more and more the case as time goes on.
Yes.
Like this time next year, sure, you can probably wander into one and grab it. I pre-ordered it. I was fine waiting 6 weeks for my copy, and then it came, and then we played it and had a great time. So I don't know if I would give it a 2. I would give it like a 4. But like because you can't just go out and instantly find a copy. Yeah, you'll might need to sit on your hands.
And my rating is definitely colored by the controversy surrounding it. I fully admit that. And I didn't buy into it. I just kind of was like, everybody just calm down. It's a board game. Like if it's that good, they will make more copies, right? And that's the case, right? This game is very good. They are continuing to make copies. This game is coming out. It will be out. Like James said, in a year, you probably will throw a rock and be able to hit a copy of Wingspan. But initially, it was really tough to get. I mean, early on, man, everybody was really mad because even some of the people that pre-ordered weren't getting their copies. And it's a whole thing. You can just read about it. I would say lesson learned from Stonemeyer. I really trust them as a game company. It's not like you're going to order something from them and you're not going to get it, or anything like that, right? I mean, they're well established. So I didn't really get what all the fervor was about because it's like, look, it's coming. Yeah. You just got to wait.
Some people upset with delays after the interest was far greater than what they initially thought.
Yeah.
But that interest is there because it is such a solid game.
It is, definitely. So components. Mm-hmm. Components in the game, for me, it is like almost a 5, but I gave it a 4. I love the artwork. I love the little eggs that you use. The things that put me off like just a little bit, and these are my own hang-ups, like I will fully admit they're my own hang-ups, is like the card size is a little funky. So like sometimes I sleeve my cards and you really kind of need a specific sleeve because these are a little more narrow than just regular sleeves. Because I've got like a stack of sleeves, so you know sometimes if I buy a game and I'm going to play it a lot, I just start sleeving it. Well, these you're going to have to get special sleeves for. That kind of put me off a little bit. I don't love wooden dice. I don't know why. Like, I don't think they have enough weight. Maybe for me it's like a tactile thing. I mean, the dice are fine. The icons on the die are very clear. They look good. I just don't love wooden dice. I do like the birdhouse. I like the tray. I like the way that they give you the trays to have stuff out. I mean, it's just like a couple of things hold me back to stop it from being a 5 for me. Fully acknowledge those are my own hang-ups. How do you feel about them?
Happy to say I don't have any of those hang-ups. I love everything about this game. I do also like sleeving my cards, except when the card quality is visibly good enough that I don't think I need to. And these are very sturdy.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That is fair.
I haven't had any problem. I've shuffled that deck dozens and dozens.
And you bridge shuffle, right?
And I do, yeah. I bridge shuffle. I'm not gentle with my cards. These are holding up just fine. I understand some people would like a different token for the food or the cubes.
You know, and that's all fine with me. Like, for whatever reason, it was just, you know, a couple of weird things.
I like the dice that are made of kind of alternate material that I'm used to. It feels nice and it makes a good noise when it rolls out of the wood.
Sure.
Like, I think that makes it completely worth it just to have that little clickety-clackety sound.
Yes.
And I think just alone, the artwork on the cards makes it a 5.
The artwork is
they did such a great job.
Really top notch.
Oh, also, the manual just feels so wonderful. Everyone talked about it, and I was
oh
like,
yeah,
I
there
don't
is
know
a
what you're talking
texture.
about. But it's made of space age new paper or something. I don't know, but
it does have a
great.
texture to it, which it's not just your flimsy old instruction manual, right? Okay, so gameplay. How do you feel about gameplay for Wingspan? For me, gameplay's a 5. I'll let you get into where you feel.
I'm at a 4.5, 5. Like, I want to give it a 5, but it is like a lot of other engine builders that do a lot of the same things. The theme elevates the game for me, but the choices I make are a lot of the same kind of combinations you see in other engine builders. So I really like it. It is a little bit too, I don't want to say too much, but it is, you're playing your own game, you're staring at your own mat. When somebody else does something, that might trigger a bird on your board, but that's about as much interaction as there is.
Sure.
But the choices are good. It's a lot of fun. You get to build your engine and see it go off, and that makes it. Yeah,
it's satisfying, right? To watch your whole engine fire. So for me, what puts it from a 4, because I would be at a 4 probably, to a 5, is that because of the theme of the game and the components that you use, like the eggs and sort of the tokens with the critters on them, is like I fool my wife into playing like sort of a heavier engine buildy kind of game. Whereas if this was like a steampunk theme or like a post-apocalyptic engine builder, she would never look at it. Oh, yeah. It could be the same game, right? With just a different skin. She would never look at it. But it's birds, it's pretty, it's nature, it pops. The colors are really vibrant and everything. So it tricks her into wanting to play a game that normally she might dismiss, but she actually likes it, right? So so for me, in a personal experience, it does put it up into that 5 because of the theme of it and the way that it plays. It will appeal to more people, maybe outside of my normal group. So that's the edge.
On that note, you might be triggering me into a 5 because I'm remembering how the theme integrates with the game mechanics, because there are cards that say, like, if you have this and you activate that card, look at the top card in the deck, and if it's smaller or bigger than a certain size, then, you know, tuck it under for some points at the end of the game. And that's representative of the birds hunting, right? They go and eat.
And the detail, right?
And it all fits. The theme with that mechanic, with other mechanics about, like, you need to feed the birds, and now they're making eggs, and they can lay like nests in these areas.
Right.
All of the information from like what type of nest they make,
right,
to the size of the bird, to where they're from, it all works to help with the strategy of the game.
The theme really, I say you slap a different skin on it, but it would be more than that because the theme of the game is so
absolutely
dug in, right? And again, I play games of similar complexity that my wife or some friends would just never even look at. But this one, and she's not even particularly like a bird lover, but just this one, it's like, oh yeah, like let's play, like I'm in. So, for me, it kind of sealed it, right? But I get it. It's my experience, she loves it, and I get to play it. It's like, hey, let's play a game. Like, please, yes, let's play a game, whatever you want. Wingspan. Oh, even better, because it's like a good game, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so price or value for the game, like MSRP. How is this as far as like a collection piece? If you have a game collection, how do you feel about it?
I'm fine with it. I think it's appropriately priced. There's a lot of different pieces. The card deck is huge.
Sure.
And these, the player boards.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Just feel great.
Yeah.
It feels like you're making a journal.
Right.
For bird watching, which isn't something I thought I needed, but then I played it and I'm like, yeah, this is
right.
great.
Right. Yeah, for me, it is a 5. It is a 5 out of 5. Don't overpay for this game.
Definitely.
We really like this game, but it was overhyped because then people got it. They paid too much money for it. They played it, and they're like, bleh. And it's like, well, if you weren't so built up for it,
yeah,
and you could just kind of like take a step back, you can just enjoy a really solid game. And again, like this game's going to hold its value. It's for the price. If you see it on a shelf and any of this sounds even remotely interesting to you, it's worth picking up, in my opinion. Go out, call your game store, see if they've got it. Get yourself a copy. Don't overpay. Just pay MSRP. You're good. You're good. Don't buy into it. Like paying, $100 for this game. Not worth it.
Good advice in general.
Yeah,
Don't
also
get
true.
Poached.
Also, hey, it's a good pun. So interaction. Who's this game for? What's player interaction like? You already said a little bit. It is kind of a solo. Can be kind of a solo play.
Solo together kind of.
Yes.
Game.
Yes, because some abilities might trigger abilities on your board. But really, like, nobody's going to take away from your game. Mm-hmm. They may draft a card you want instead, or take a resource that you're waiting for. But this game is very accessible as far as I can get this game played in a lot of different groups. Mm-hmm. I can trick light and casual gamers into checking this out, and then maybe they realize that they actually maybe a little more into hobby board games than they thought. Mm-hmm. So for me, I gave it a 5 just because of some of those things. Some people don't like games that don't have a lot of player interaction, and for some reason I love games that I don't have a lot of player interaction, but I also love games where it's all player interaction. Yeah. So I cover the whole spectrum. But those are just my thoughts. How do you feel about it?
Really like it. I do think it works really well with different kind of player groups. If there are newer players who aren't used to the kind of engine building strategy games, they might not see the patterns of these cards fit together.
Sure.
They just, like this bird and toss it down. And
right.
As long as they're having fun, then great. There might be a large score deficit at the end.
Right, and they kind of, yeah, that's fair. And because there are so many different, because there are so many different kinds of birds and the deck is huge, you're not always going to see some of your combinations pop up. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you are just like, I like this bird better. So that is a potential limitation maybe, especially like a first-time player that's not super experienced, mm-hmm. might really get left behind by people who see the mechanics right away. But still, it's worth it enough.
Still fun.
I think they're having a good enough time.
Yeah.
You know, moving their bits around. So yeah. So overall, this game is a 5 out of 5 for me. It is worth the price. I'm glad to have it in my collection. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Mm-hmm. I can get this to the table. People want to play it. People still are looking for it, so you can always play it with people that haven't seen it and still want to be kind of introduced to it or curious about it. So for me, yeah, it's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah. For people who don't like expansions, I think you would be perfectly happy with the base game as it is.
Yes.
But because all of the birds are from North America, some of them are from both North America and other places, that leaves a lot of room for expansions, like the European expansion that just came out, and I'm sure we're going to see Asian bird expansion and African bird expansion.
Right.
And I am very excited to get my hands on those and see more diverse birds that I never knew existed.
And the amazing thing, though, right, is that you don't need it, but man, if you like the game, you're going to want it. Mm-hmm. And I haven't played any of the expansions yet, but I have a feeling that they're all just going to jive because this game is so well designed that I have yet to see anything that's broken, right? No broken strategy. I don't foresee them putting in something where it's like, well, that kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you just don't play with that. Leave it on the shelf. So, anyways, I've been Tim.
I'm James.
Have a great day. If you like what you saw,
if you want to see us make more content like this,
please hit that thumbs up.
Go ahead and subscribe.
Give us a share on social media.
Remember to ring that little bell, it really helps.
Be sure to check out our unboxing videos.
Don't forget we have reviews.
And also the news show.
Thanks for watching the Board Game Rundown.